Welcome back, guys. We are yet again back with another interesting video for you. Well, in this video, we are going to create a chat system, and it will be allowing users to chat with other strangers. You can have one-on-one chat with other strangers, and so let's start our task then. Let me create some HTML. Okay, I'll call it chat with strangers. And we'll need to include these CDN links. The first one is for Bootstrap CSS, while the second one is for the jQuery JS, right? So let's first create some design, okay? I'll start with a container with some padding in Y direction. It will have a row and justify content center so that the box comes in the center of the screen. And I will have a call MD6 maybe. I'll make use of Bootstrap card. Card will have card header followed by card bodies. Okay, for card header, I will use H5 with margin bottom 0. It will say the same thing, chat with strangers. And it will also have an span with ID status, which will say something like connecting. I'll give it class of badge and busy primary. Maybe for connecting, we can go with warning. Let's see. Okay. And for card header, what I'll use, I'll go with busy primary, text white. Yeah. And deflex, align items center, justify content center. Let's see. Oh, not center. I need space between. Okay, this is good. So for card body, I'll create an ID of waiting with class text center. It will have another div, I guess, for the loading icon, and it will need class of text primary and spinner border. Yeah, great. So we have a loading icon ready, and after this, maybe I'll add some message as well with margin top 2, and it will say waiting for someone to join. This looks good. So after the waiting loading section, I can move on to the chat section. I'll call it chat ID. And it will have an ID of messages with some classes, border, rounded, padding 2, margin bottom 3. It will not have anything right now. I'll add everything here from the JavaScript section. Also, I'll make sure that it has an height of about 300 px with overflow Y auto, so that I can see this scroll bar if the content is more. Okay, this is good. I won't be showing this loading every time. After the chat is loaded, I'll hide it, right? So first I'll hide these messages. Oh no, not messages, but the chat. Okay, I'll show it later on. Okay, this is good. So after this messages section, I will need to create a div with input group, and inside it there will be two things, starting from the input type text and button. Class btn primary. It will send, and it will have an ID of message input, class of form control, and placeholder of type your message, something like this. Okay, it won't be shown right now because I had din on here. Yeah, this is good. The design is good, so I can do din on here. Okay, so we are almost ready with the HTML part. Now let's move on to the JavaScript. So what we will do, we'll just make sure that the document is ready. Inside document ready, we will have a couple of variables here. Is paired equals false by default, and last message count would be 0 by default. Yeah, this is good. Now let's move on to the update message section. Okay, before that, let's do the send message part. For the send message, we need to catch two events. One is the, let me show you this. We can send message by two ways. We will type message here and then click on the send button, or we can also press the enter key in the keyboard. So we need to catch two events, right? So let's do that. Send button on click while the message input on key press. So we'll do it together. So first one will be click and second one would be key press. Function, I'll call this function. So let me create it. If e dot click, sorry, e dot type equals click, or e dot width equals 13. This means the enter key, and is paired. If it is paired only, then we can send the message. So const input equals the input box. That is the message input, and the actual message is $input.val, and I'll also trim it. So if there is some message, I'll make request to send the message and then make the input.val blank. Cool. So now I need this function, and I'll be using this function a lot. So let's create the function first. It will simply return an AJAX request. AJAX request. Right, this is the correct one. So it will have something like URL, because we'll be calling the same script. That's why I will use index.php. Method would be post. Headers, this is important. Headers will be, because this is going to be an AJAX request. So X requested with would be XML HTTP request, something like this. And maybe content type would be application/JSON, and data, because it's JSON, so I need to pass it as a JSON string. JSON.stringify action followed by data. Okay, we have this ready. Oh, I forgot the parameter here. Action and data. Okay, we're good now. This is fine. Now let me create function for check pairing. We will keep on checking this function if some other users are available to chat. So I'll make use of this function again for check action, and if it is after it's done, I'll grab the data from the Ajax and then check it if there is pair and it is not paired here. What it does is it checks if it is paired, and this we receive from the Ajax response, and this one is the global variable that we defined here. So if it is already paired and we don't know it is paired, then we can pair it in the JavaScript, and then we need to do something in UI. So I will call update UI maybe, and I'll be passing true here, and then what I will be doing is clear interval. Okay, I have not done this one, so let me do it later, and I'll do all messages. It means I need another function that is poll messages, and another function which will be update UI. And update UI will receive one parameter which is paired. Cool. Okay. So before defining these functions, let me go through the join request. So I'll make a request to join. After it's done, I'll grab the data and I'll again check for data.pair. If data is paired, then I'll set data paired, the paired to true. Again, update UI and poll messages. Okay. And if it is not paired, then I will keep on checking with check interval, set interval, keep on checking the check pairing every 2 seconds. So what I need to do here is I need to clear the interval. So to clear the interval, I already set the interval here. I have already set the interval here. I just need to clear the interval here. Clear interval window dot check interval. That's it. Okay, so we are doing good. Now I need to define these two functions. So for the poll messages, it will just keep on checking if there is any new message for me. So if it is not paired, then I don't need to check for the message, because without getting paired, I won't be getting any messages. Then I'll make request for get, and after it's done, I'll grab the data and I'll check once again if not data paired and is paired. It means the API request, the Ajax request says that we are not paired, but our JavaScript variable says we are paired. It means the other user has already been inactive and he has been disconnected. So I can alert other user is disconnected, and then refresh the page, return. But if this is not the case, then what I need to do, I need to update messages with the messages in the Ajax request. Messages, we will get all the list of messages we have done till now with this user, current user, and then set timeout and check for the messages every second. So we have another function now, which is update messages, and it will get a param called messages. So let's go for the update messages first. So let me check if there is some messages. If messages dot length is greater than last message count, then I'll get the current user ID, which will be from the session. Okay, session ID. Session ID. But you need to make sure to use the session, you have to start the session at first. So let's start the session. We can start it by session start. Yeah. Now I can use this session ID. Okay. I'm using session ID as the current user, at the user ID. I mean, then I need to create the HTML for each message. Okay. I have all messages in this variable, so I need to map it. Messages.map and map to a single message. I can call it MSG, and then I can create the HTML. Finally, join it with empty string. Okay. Now here goes the HTML. So class equals not click. Class equals margin bottom 2 maybe. And inside it, I will have maybe small with class text muted. It will say 14:44 a.m. Not a.m. p.m. If I write 14, it's not used. So let's go with maybe 10:44 p.m. This is the time of the message and the exact message. For this, let's use the inline block. I need to display it inline, and then it will have the exact message. Maybe hello, how are you? Something like this. Fine. So after making the HTML, what I need to do, I need to change the messages.html to HTML, and then scroll to the recent message. Scroll top messages 0 dot scroll height. This should work. And then update the last message count to messages dot length. Great. But I need to make this thing dynamic, right? You can't always be saying hi, hello, how are you? It should be dynamic. This time should be dynamic. Okay, let me make it dynamic. For the time, I will use msg.time, while for the message, $msg.message. Okay. So what next? Let me update this function now. For the update UI, I have to do something like I need to toggle class for the waiting, and if I need to toggle class dnone, show it and remove it based on the value of is paired for the waiting and also for chat, but it should be not is paired. Okay, cool. And also for status, I will remove class busy warning and busy success. Okay, I need to do a couple of things for it, so let me do it this way. And also add class if it is paired. If is paired is set to true, then it will be busy success, else it will be busy warning. Similarly, I can change the text as well. If it is paired, then it will be connected. If not, it will be connecting. Okay, we're good. This is good. So now we have still something remaining. Okay, we have the message part ready. Let's see if there is some error, but we haven't done any PHP. So what I want to do now is, okay, before doing that, I can even do one thing. I can make this design better. This design doesn't look better right now. Let's go through the PHP first so that we can make a proper design after we do this PHP part. Okay. So after session start, I'm gonna check it set $_server with HTTP X requested with. This is what the header that we set while executing the AJAX request. And I need a header here. What I will do is I will have to create a directory called data, and I will have two files, users file and chats file. I will store everything on the file for now. Directory followed by probably users.txt. Same here, directory followed by chats.txt. And if not is directory, the dir, it means currently I don't have any data directory, so I need to create it. So to create it, I'll use mkdir directory with permission 755 and recursive true. Also, if there is no file exist with name users file, then I can file put contents to the users file with empty JSON. Great. Same for the chats file. Cool. This is good now. Now I can move on to the next step. Let me create a file pointer, fopen users file in create mode. Then I need to lock this file so that no other process can use it. This is the exclusive lock. Now let me get the users. First is on decode file get contents users file and change it to array. If I don't use true, it will return me an object, but I need an array. And if it is not there, empty array. Same thing for the chats. It will be from the chats file. And if there is nothing, it will be empty array. Cool. Let me get the current user ID. And as I already said, it will be the session ID. Now I need to loop through each users as ID user if time minus user time is greater than 60. I'll explain you what I'm doing here. I will unset the users ID chat user paired or blank. Okay. What I'm doing here is if any user is inactive since last 60 seconds, then I'm removing it from the list. And that's what I'm doing. I can say remove inactive users. You can play with this time and change as per your requirement. Now I can move on to the post request. If server request method equals post. So if it is a post request, let me get the post data. Data equals JSON decode file get contents PHP input and convert it to array. Fine. And let me set a default response, which will be status data, something like this. You can set anything you want. Now, based on the action, as you know, we are sending a lot of actions here, like join or check or send. Do I have send here? Oh, I have not made the send one yet. Okay, we'll do it later on. No worries. Let me use switch case for this one. Data action. Whatever the action is, based on the value of action, we are going to execute some blocks of code here. So if it is join, then what we will do is we will get the user's user ID because we are appending another user. So this user is paired is false because it has not been paired and its active time is current time. Great. And now we will be looping through each users as ID user. Okay. If ID, the ID in current loop is not equals to the current user ID because the same user cannot chat with himself. It should be different. And $user, the user in current loop is not paired with anyone. It means he's waiting for someone. Then we can join these two users in a room called room ID. I will use unique ID for the room ID. Okay. Now I will change the user paired value, which is the user in the current loop, and also the current user, which is user ID paired, both to the room ID. And then the chats of this room ID will be blank array for now because the chatting is not started yet. So I'm, mutating the value of user here. So what I need to do, I need to pass it as a reference. All right. So now I can change the value of user. Great. Now I need to throw back a response. So response equals status is success, and the paired value is the room ID. And I would use user ID paired. Fine. Okay. This is the case for the join. Now another case would be for check, which we are calling from check pairing, right? From check pairing. So for check, it's easy. What I can do here is I can directly respond with paired value, which is once again user ID paired or false. That should be it. But let me also update the last active time for this user. If it's set user ID, then I will update the last active time. User ID time equals current time, so that the user doesn't become inactive, and finally break it. Okay, we're done with the check action as well. Now for the get action. For get action, it's easy as well. I will get the room ID first from the user ID, which is the current user ID, and paired. And if it is not there, it's false. So the response should be an array which contains two keys. One is messages, the other will be paired. For messages, I can get it through, if there is room ID, then it's chats of this room ID are empty and empty one if there is room ID. For the pair, it will be room ID is not equals to false, and then break it. Great. Now I need for this send case send. So for this send, let me remove this one. I have not even made request for the send action. So let me do the call for the send action, right? Or do I? Oh, I've already done this. I should have done this one. Let me check. Yeah, here it is. I've already done the send request, so no need to do that again. I just missed that line somehow. So for the send action, what we can do, once again, we will get the room ID. This is the same thing. This is the room ID. Then what we are going to do is, if there is some room ID, because to send the message, you need to have the room ID, and insert chat's room ID. And you need to have the list of chat in that room ID. If both conditions are true, then what we will do, we will append the room ID. We will append new message in that array, and that message will contain three keys, maybe the user, message, and the time. All right. So the user will be the current user ID, message will be the data message that we received in the post request, and time would be current time in this format. Cool. So what we need to be careful is, this is the message the user types in the screen. So you need to be careful that the user can send any message here. So I need to make use of HTML special cars. This will protect us from XXS attacks. That means the cross-site scripting attacks. So we are done, right? And after this, I will need the response, which will be status success. And then finally break. Break will be here. Okay, this is good now. Now what I need to do finally is I will need to update the files. The users file with the data from users. Similarly, the chats file with the data from chats. Great. Now I can close the file pointer, close FP, and also don't forget to because we have, as you can remember, we have set an exclusive lock here. So I need to release that lock. F lock, FP, and lock, unlock. Nice. Then I can just respond with my response. Exit. And also because I am I'm responding with JSON, so I need to make sure I have the proper header set there. So header would be content type, which will be application/JSON. Okay, we must be good to go now. Is there anything remaining? Let's see. Poll messages. Do I have poll messages? Yes, I do. Let's see if there is anything problem here. Let's first see in this tab. Okay, we have an error here. This is in this line in the make request. Let's see what is wrong there in this line. Where is data? Where is action? So what am I missing here? This is the Ajax index.php post. Okay, application JSON. This should be okay. Let's see what's the error. What does it say? Oh, I don't need a semicolon here. I still have an error here. Oh, I got a date. It's not date, it's data. Now I didn't have any error. But I don't think it's working at all. Let's see. Okay, period is false. It's going through the request. That's good. It is check request. That is also good. Now what I can do is let me open two tabs and let's start chatting if it works. If I say hi and then press enter, it's not working. It says connected in both ends. That's good news. But I can't send message. Let's see why. E is not defined. Where is that E? Maybe in the send message here. I need to have an event here, right? So that I can use it here. Okay. Let's refresh this. Let's refresh this. Okay, both are connected. Now I can say hi. See, we have got hi here. I can reply back with reply hi. See, great. And I can say another message. Great. Blah, blah, blah. Something like this. Yeah, it's working perfect. But what is the issue here is I can't distinguish which one is the message I sent and which one is the message I received. Okay, so I can change the classes somehow and make that possible here. Let me start with for this one. What I will do, if I say text end, let me show you from here. If I say text end, does it work? I think it does. Yeah, it comes in the other side. Yeah, but this will be only for the messages that I sent. Okay, so I will check a condition here. Dollar message dot user equals, oh, because of the inactivity it doesn't matter for me, message dot user equals current user ID. If that is the case, then I will show text and else nothing. So I don't want text end here. Let's see, both are connected, I guess. Hi. Oh, everything is going on text end. Maybe I can do refresh. Yeah, this is good because this user send the message, so he can see it here, and this user received the message, so he can see it here. My new message. Yeah, because this user sent, now it's working perfect. Also, I want to change something here. For this one, what I will do is, if message dot user equals current user ID, the same thing, then I will show busy primary and text white. Else, I will show busy light with some border. Let's see. I'm refreshing both. I'm sending message. Okay, this is good. This is good. I need some padding now. So for this one, I will provide padding of 2 and probably rounded as well. And for this one, maybe I don't need anything for this one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, both are connected now. Hi, this is great. This is perfect. Nice talking to you. Great. Okay. So let's see if what happens if I have another user coming here. Okay. So I can copy it and open it in new browser. We'll open it. So he will just keep on waiting because these two are already engaged with each other. So he has no one to talk to. There is no extra users here. If I open another browser, then these two can get connected to each other. Let's see. Why is it so slow? So now I can see, yeah, this one and this one are connected now. I can chat with these two. Hi, this one is for this only. Okay, they are disconnected because of inactivity. Makes sense. But these two can continue their chat. Perfect. And once again, if they are connected, they can still continue chatting here. Great one, nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And you already know that I have provided a link in the video description below from where you can go through all these source code. And please feel free to ask me any questions through the comment section below. I will be ready to answer you guys. And please subscribe us for more interesting and useful videos like this. This much for today. Cheers, guys.